Right then, guys, as promised, 7 p.m. tonight. This time exactly, we're going live with the team at SOS. So we got Coach James, Coach Greg, and Coach Zoe. Today is obviously the first Monday of 2021. So I think a lot of people, they wait until today to start their New Year's resolutions. Most people wait till the first Monday of the month and didn't actually start on the first. But I was one of those people as well. So that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to criticize anyone for that. But tonight, guys, the aim is to talk New Year's resolutions. How can we set you up for success in 2021? Goal setting, how this whole process of, trying to become a better version of yourself actually works. And we've got, the probably three of the best trainers that I've had the, ability to work with in my time in the industry. Each of these coaches, Greg, James and Zoe, each have a unique perspective when it comes to sort of goal setting, and we're going to delve in tonight and have a good chat to them about this topic, which is really interesting for me personally because I'm someone that's invested a lot of money, and effort and time in the last sort of 18 months, especially just on mindset and the process of self-development. Okay, so we're going to just start with James. So James, it's 2021 now. Yeah, it's been a hell of a year, 2020. So why do you think people should set goals, and why is it important in terms of, success?
Well, everyone knows what goals are, right? Everyone's got their own idea of what a goal is anyway. But my idea is they're an idea of the future, a desired result that a person wants to achieve and commits to achieve. But recently I'm speaking to clients, family, friends about the New Year's resolutions this year, and it's making me realize that people aren't setting good enough goals. They're seeming to struggle. They're setting small, safe goals, and it's not really going to stretch you. It's not going to make you grow as a person. It's just taking a safe bet. So, for example, when I'm checking in recently with a lot of my clients and I'm asking them, what do they want to achieve this year? What can we work towards? I'm getting a lot of, I want to just track food consistently. I want to drink my water, make sure I stay within my calories, all that safe stuff. And to me, these are what they're telling me, what they think is a goal. The processes, they're a means of achieving the goal, but they're not the actual goal. What I'm saying is, like, goals should scare you. They should be a huge challenge. They should be more than you. They should stretch you and kind of give you a huge focus on working towards that. And tracking calories is an easy goal. It's something that's safe. And it's not like, what I mean by process is, why do we track calories? We track calories mainly to lose weight or gain weight or whatever. That's the goal. Tracking calories is just part of the process that gets you to the goal.
Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just totally agree with you there.
Yeah, it's a safe bet. So what I want my clients to do, and I want kind of everyone to do really, is just set something big this year. Set something that you scares you. You think, can I achieve that? Can I not? Set something difficult, difficult goals tend to be greater anyway. And they direct a lot of attention and effort towards the activities that help you along the way. So those day-to-day tasks, those things that kind of help you. And I like to have people to have a why behind their goal. Why do you want to achieve that? You want to lose weight? Great. Why? Tell me why, because it's going to get better by, and you're going to get more kind of motivation from them, more commitment to them towards achieving that goal.
Yeah.
So that's that's what I want to talk about today, really. Setting good goals.
Like a goal, I think, another reason why goals are important, which you kind of touched on there, is because I think sometimes, we can't rely on motivation. Sometimes we wake up in the morning and for whatever reason, we just don't want to go out and do our steps because maybe it's pissing down with rain, or you live in Wales and it's snowing. The last thing you want to do is those steps. Some days you just feel tired and you don't want to go to the gym. But I think having that goal, or that North Star that sometimes Greg speaks about with his clients, which I think is fantastic. Having that vision, it guides you. It gives you purpose. It gives you a reason to actually get out and do it. And then it's no longer just doing a walk in the rain or a walk in the snow. It's actually a stepping stone to become the person you want to be.
Absolutely. So, you're every day closer, aren't you? Every day closer to the goal.
Yeah. So that's great. So just while you're there, James, what's your goals for 2021?
Oh, I've got too many goals. my biggest goal really is to become a homeowner. It's not a gym goal, but it's a big personal goal of mine. So it's a huge landmark that I want to kind of achieve. And I've kind of set myself a load of stepping stones that I need to achieve to kind of get that goal. So that would be my big one.
Yeah, amazing. And I think with this call tonight, we're talking about goal setting. This is something that you can use in any area of your life, whether it's it could be losing body fat, it could be physique, it could be performance, it could be getting stronger, but it could be getting your first home, or maybe upgrading your car, or having a better relationship with your spouse, or whatever it is. It could be financial goals. And I try and set goals in 4 areas. Performance, which is more gym-based stuff in a way. I went on the InBody today, and I'm a bit fatter than I was before Christmas. Let's just say that. So a little bit of work to do there. Growth goals, maybe some education, some courses I want to do this year. I know Greg very into the growth, and he's always learning and reading, which is brilliant. I want to become a homeowner this year because I've got Sully now as a dog, and I'm on the 3rd floor apartment, and I'm getting more steps than ever up and down the stairs. And and family goals as well. Maybe get a better work-life balance this year, which has been something that maybe lockdown has helped me with that, really, being home a bit more. And I've realized before that maybe I wasn't making enough time for those around me. So they're mine. So yeah, thanks for that, James. Right, are we going to speak to Greg now? So Greg, James has set a goal of becoming a homeowner. I've set a goal of maybe just looking a little bit less fluffy and dropping some body fat, and maybe getting back in shape like I was 2 or 3 years ago when I was shredded wheat, Judge Shred. Yeah. How does that process work for us? Because James' house, that's a big goal. How do we actually break that down and make it become a reality?
Well, so kind of what I wanted to touch on here was more along the lines of because we talk about big goals, right? We talk about wanting to achieve these great things, and sometimes we need to understand what stage of change we're actually at. So consider there's generally it's been designed back in the 70s. So this 6 stages of change was designed for smokers originally, but it pretty much has been transferred through the decades to be able to use in any facet of life. And it's an important thing to understand where you are along that cycle. And it's important to understand how you can actually move from stage to stage. So generally, most people who are on this call aren't going to be in the initial stage, which is pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation is that area where you don't see a problem, you have a resilience to change. Most people who are going on a goal-setting call obviously are at a place in their life where they're willing to make changes. But you'll get those at pre-contemplation who might be a little bit rebellious, not really open to change or being told what to do. You've got those who maybe have just accepted where they are and they can't see themselves changing. What we'll tend to get with most of the people who are on this call is you'll find yourself at contemplation phase and then preparation phase. If you're at contemplation phase, you're kind of weighing up. So like James is setting a really big goal of being a homeowner. He's at the preparation phase now. So he's set his goals. He's ready to take action. Some of you might be at the contemplation phase where you're weighing up your options. So you're saying to yourself, is the sacrifice going to be worth the outcome? So a lot of you will be thinking, do I want to give up? Not that you have to give it up, but do I want to reduce my wine? Do I want to do my own food prep? Do I want to make 4 hours to go to the gym? Do I want to walk in the snow? Right? So all these things play into, where you are in terms of your willingness to change. And when you're trying to get from that kind of contemplation phase into the preparation phase, you have to weigh up the pros and cons. It's reaffirmation. It's confirming why you're doing something. So don't just think, I'm doing this because I want to be slim. James touched on it, the why. It's bigger than that, right? It's bigger than just I want to be slim. There's a reason why you want to be there. Is it for your kids? Is it, I remember having a conversation with a client not so long ago. Do you want to, in 20 years, almost ensure that you're walking your daughter down the aisle? Whatever that why is, that kind of reaffirms why you're doing it. And it outweighs those cons of this sacrifice. Because you want change, you got to make sacrifice, right? And that really will put you in that position, and it'll push you to that preparation stage where now you're willing to set yourself up to actually take action rather than sitting there thinking, I'll do it. Because contemplation phase, you can be there for 6 months to 12 months without actually doing anything, right? So you've got to push yourself along. And then when you get to that contemplation phase, you're pretty much, or when you get to that preparation phase, I should say, it's where you're kind of, you're seeking advice. You're here, right? So you're putting plans and actions in to create change. You're putting a game plan in because, like Sam said, you're thinking about that North Star. And this is going to play into what Zoe's going to talk about after. That North Star, so that end goal for you is very far away. So you need to put stepping stones in place. I think she's going to touch on short-term and long-term goals. You need to create a legitimate plan, not just saying, I will, right? I will do. What's the plan? So like James obviously was talking about steps, small steps he has to take every day to be a homeowner. Like imagine if he stands around next December and he gets keys to his own house.
Yeah.
That's real goal setting.
Small steps for James could be, imagine he needs, say, a £10,000 deposit. It could be saving £300 a month, and that's a stepping stone. And then I think the main thing that these stepping stones give us is we can look back at the month and go, right, great, that was a successful month because I'm on target now to achieve what I need to achieve in the desired time frame. We do it a lot with fat loss, right? You want to lose 10 stone, okay, in 20 months, okay, you need to lose half a stone every month, so you can break it down, or 10 pounds in 10 weeks, lose £1 a week on average. Some weeks you might lose more, other weeks you might lose less. But I think breaking things down, and what's always going to go through, obviously, in a short time, is very important for that. So, anything else to add on that, Greg? How long do people tend to spend, mate, in the pre-contemplating phase? Because I know clients, Nikki's here now. Nikki's here, oh my goodness. She's been in it for years. So Nikki's struggling a little bit with, she struggled this year with working from home. Her mental health has suffered a little bit as well in the last 12 months especially. How can we get people from this pre-contemplation phase to actually start doing what they need to do?
So you're saying like pre-contemplation, contemplation is 6 months to years people spend in these kind of phases. And like you said, when you're trying to pull someone from, and this is the thing, it's difficult for coaches to tell them what they need to do. Sometimes self-reflection. So it's like affirmation. Why am I going to do this? And then when you can finally pull yourself into that preparation phase, that's when you need someone, possibly, not always, someone a little bit more skilled. So that's why people go out in the preparation phase and seek coaches, because a coach can put that into place for them and give them a legitimate plan that they can follow and actually feel successful. Because a lot of the time people have gone through this cycle 10, 20 times. And every time they'll get to the action phases eventually, but they relapse like that. And then it just throws them straight back down the cycle and they have to go through it all again.
Yeah.
And you may relapse again, but the important part is when you do relapse, that you have that plan in place, that you just go straight back to the preparation phase. You reaffirm why you were doing it. You fix the barriers that were there that made you relapse, and you start again.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing I think sometimes is a lot of people, when it comes to fat loss, they want restriction and they want to make it really hard. Like Zoe put a great post up this morning, the lifestyle coaching posts. You don't need to be drinking celery juice. You don't need to be doing a shake diet. You just need to stop eating biscuits for breakfast. People go from eating biscuits for breakfast and having a selection box for lunch and a bottle of wine for their evening meal. And then all of a sudden they want to go from that extreme to intermittent fasting or starving themselves or, doing 1,100 calories. Well, you've been doing 4,000 calories a day for the last 2 weeks. Why don't we just get you back on, 2,000 calories? Get you walking a bit more, get you training a bit more, start, make this process at least a little bit enjoyable and sustainable. But people go from the two extremes. Would you agree that that's where a lot of people go wrong, Greg?
Yeah, it's always a major part of it. People just, and it's the same, but we as people, we tend to deviate to the extreme ends of the spectrum with everything, right? So you assume that if I gain a lot of weight, which I suppose is correct, but you don't understand the difficulty of it. We gain a lot of weight and a lot of calories. So therefore, to lose weight really quickly and compensate for that, we have to go super, super low calories.
Yeah.
And realistically, and and I know, it works, right? Super low calories works. The problem is people never have, part of this 6 stages, there's a maintenance phase. People don't have an exit strategy. People don't know once the 4 weeks of 1,100 calories are done and they've lost 10 pounds, what to do then. And that's the major problem, more so than possibly the aggressive dieting. It's the problem that people don't have a way out when it's over.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they'll get in shape for a photo shoot. And this is why with my online coaching now, I make sure that if I'm prepping anyone for a photo shoot, they pay for 6 weeks of coaching post-photo shoot, and I won't take them on otherwise, because I can actually coach them through that exit strategy of being on such a low-calorie diet. So, yeah, they look amazing, but 6 weeks later, they haven't put on 2 stone. You know, which a lot of clients have done. So that's what I've been doing with my coaching practice a little bit, just to help, you know, so people don't regress and go back to this pre-contemplation phase where maybe it is possible to potentially avoid it, which is great. So there we go, James. That's what you need to do to get your house, mate.
Simple.
Right. Good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. So just last thing for you, Greg. Al Khan has just said, I nearly had a heart attack in December, having to start again. I was never lazy and I've always dabbled with training. I was doing okay, but never planned having a blocked artery at 46. So I'm starting again on my fitness journey. So James, Greg, have you got any advice for Al? Like, if he's just had a big health scare, you know, what advice do you have for someone like that that's in the pre-contemplation phase of using 2021 to get a health back on track?
Definitely seek help. Get someone who's gonna coach you through it. Don't go on it on your own. You know, just ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, we're here to help. That's the idea. We can set benchmarks for you, goals for you, and help you work towards them.
Yeah.
I think he makes a good point. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's a tragic thing that you had a blocked artery at 46, but it pushed you along. Yeah. So, like, you may have been at that pre-contemplation phase or the contemplation phase for a long time, but now I have a very strong feeling you're ready to take action. Yeah. So it's pushed you along the line. It's given you that scare, probably not the way we would want it, obviously, but it's put you in a position now where you can actually go and make change.
Yeah, great. And it is worrying that sometimes, I'm not saying this has happened to Al, because I know he's been training in the past, and I remember having a consultation with him a couple of years ago, actually, and getting him on the right foot. But sometimes for some of us, we need that kick in the ass, that kick on the backside, if you like, to actually make a change. You know, and sometimes it can be a stroke or, you know, a blocked artery or even a heart attack or something even more serious. And, you know, I'm just saying to anyone that's watching this call, if your health is suffering, you know, don't wait for something tragic to potentially happen. You're in control now. You know, you're in charge of driving your vehicle, which is your health. And unfortunately, you can't buy a new body or a new artery or a new heart or lungs, whatever it is, on eBay or even Amazon these days. So, you know, I think take action now. And don't wait for something detrimental to your long-term health to make that change. And a lot of people, I think, walking around, I think with COVID now this year, has made people realize that, you know, if we are on, you know, that part of the population where we haven't been looking after our health perhaps as well as we should, then we are maybe more vulnerable. And maybe this year has advised us to slow down a little bit and maybe look after our health just a little bit more. So yeah, so thanks for that, Greg. And Greg, what's your goals for 2021? James's is to buy a house. That's his North Star. What's yours, mate?
You know what? I'll tell you. I'll fill you in on Wednesday. I haven't actually done my vision board yet.
Okay.
I've got some general ideas, but I haven't put anything solid down. So follow me up on Wednesday, and I'll have legitimate plans.
But are you telling me, mate, you're in the pre-contemplation phase?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. So even as coaches, guys, we're in that pre-contemplation phase as well. So so that's great. So guys, what Greg touched on Wednesday, we're doing a private training for all of our members of our gym, all of our online coaching clients, anyone that's on any of our paid programs. We're going to be doing a vivid vision training, which is basically a training where we're going to manifest 2021, set some crystal clear goals, and teach you about the power of manifestation, imagery, imagining the future. And we're actually going to encourage all our members to create a vision board, you know, to work towards the 2021. That's something I've done in the past. I thought it was a bit airy-fairy. And the vision board I made, I think it was in 2016. Within 12 months, I'd achieved everything on the board. So it might be a bit airy-fairy, but it definitely can work. Okay, so Zoe, yeah.
All right.
What have you got for us, girl?
So yeah, like when we had our little chat the other day about what we want to talk about, I think the key thing for me was actually the process of goal setting, just because like common things I see that people maybe don't get when it comes to goal setting is it actually is or needs to be a really well thought out process. Like maybe people don't like, sometimes they don't take enough time to reflect. They don't understand the different types of goals and in terms of short-term, long-term outcome versus process, all that sort of stuff. And sometimes we can get a little bit guilty, just focus on the outcome rather than the actual solution. So so I want to touch on first of all, like the two types of goals. So we've touched on them in the chat already. So you've got outcome goals versus process goals. And there is a bit of a place for both of them. So I'm not going to demonize either one. They work well together, which is why I think we need to understand the both of them. Commonly, like you'll see people, they focus on the outcome. So they just, what's the end result, where they want to get to. So like someone might come to me and say, oh, Zoe, I want to lose 7 kilos. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That helps me as your coach because I know where you want to go, but how are you going to get there? And so sometimes that's what people are guilty of. They think this is where I want to go, but they don't really take any thought into what actions they need to take in order to become or get themselves to that point.
Yeah.
And just because you've got a goal doesn't necessarily mean you're going to achieve it. So I think every Olympic athlete who's ever gone to the Olympic Games has the goal of winning a gold medal. Doesn't mean they get one. No. So outcome goals are great as a starting point, but then how are we going to get there? So that's where like process goals come into place then. And I think James touched on them with some of his clients. Those are the actions, the strategies which are going to get you from A to B then and move you towards that desired outcome.
Yeah.
So when I'm working with clients, I like to use a bit of a combination of the two, and they just complement each other. And usually that's where you get more success, and it moves people from just thinking about what they want to achieve to then actually achieving it.
Yeah. So for you now, or your client wants to lose 7 kilos, that could be a goal for say, 6 months. I want to lose 7 kilos in 6 months because I want to lose fat, and not just any old weight. I want it to be fat tissue because I want to hold on to my muscle. You've educated them about the importance of, weight loss and fat loss are different things. So they understand that 7 kilos of fat loss might take a bit longer than 7 kilos of weight loss. All our coaches educate clients on the difference between fat loss and weight loss. So your client has a goal of losing 7 kilos of fat, hopefully dropping a couple of dress sizes. That's the outcome. And I always like with clients to put a dress size on it because, you might not lose 7 kilos, but if you drop 2 dress sizes, you look fantastic. And that can work well as well from, just a little pointer there from me. But what would the process be for losing 7 kilos of fat? What sort of things would you put in place as a coach for your clients that you look after?
So I usually, I think I have about 4 steps, which I'll run through. First of all, I like to really encourage people to think about identity. Yeah. I usually and ask yourself questions like, who do you want to become? How does that person feel about themselves? How do they describe themselves? What would that person do on a regular basis? And then that sort of then helps you when you start getting really into the nitty gritty of the actual, setting the numbers and targets, all that sort of stuff. I remember last year I wanted a bit of accountability, and Greg took over my nutrition for a bit, and we set up a call, and I lost count of how many times he asked me why I wanted to change, and it literally felt like a bit of a soul-bearing exercise. So I think people sometimes they skip that part, and then you don't get as much buy-in, and it's like, say, that's where that thought process is lost, and you're leaving a lot of motivation on the table if you don't go through that process.
Yeah.
I always encourage people to think about identity first, and then step by step, then we just break that down. So the first thing I would look at is, okay, what's the long-term goal? We're at A now. You want to get to B. What is B? Let's define that. So that will be an outcome-based goal. So that end point. And I usually encourage using like a SMART process. So we all know the SMART acronym: make it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time frame, all that sort of stuff.
So in terms of that, the SMART goal would be you want to lose 7 kilos. The measure would be 7 kilos of fat, maybe using the in-body machine we have at the gym.
Yeah.
Is it attainable? Does the client actually have 7 kilos of fat to lose? And I've had conversations with some girls and they want to lose 7 kilos. And I'm like, fuck, from where? Like, you haven't got 7 kilos to lose. Like, so you need to look at the client and see if it is actually possible for them. And if it's not, because a lot of women haven't got that much weight to lose and they want to lose weight, which is a topic for a different day. What's the other one then? Is it realistic in terms of the time frame? 7 kilos in a week probably isn't realistic, but 7 kilos in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months probably is, depending on how much weight they have to lose. And then the time frame is actually putting a time frame on it, right?
Yeah.
So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time frame. So make sure the goals you set, guys, for 2021 are obviously SMART goals. Okay.
Yeah. So then once you've got that in place, then we sort of move on to more sort of short-term goals then, which is still, again, it's going to be a form of outcome-based goal where there's a specific measure or target we're trying to get to. But what I use with short-term goals is to break down the long-term goal into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like to encourage people to do that is just, it helps to create a more immediate feeling of success. So then again, you've got more buy-in, people just feel better, they feel like they're getting somewhere. Whereas sometimes just having that long-term goals, like say it's, I don't know, as big as like 30 kilos or something like that, it can seem that's so far out of reach, they're like, I'm never going to get there. But if you break that down into 3 lots of 10 kilos, it's less, they have to, it's quicker, they get moving, and they get more buy-in and so on and so forth. So so that's usually something I would encourage next. And then moving on from that, then it would then be where process goals come into play. So we've got the destination, we know what the long-term goal is, we know where you want to go, we've broken it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Right, now how are we going to get there? So that would then link back into the identity practice we did earlier, where I said, who do you want to become? What does this person do, like on a day-to-day basis? And then that can help you answer these questions here again there. So the process goals are, what habits do we need to adopt? What do we need to do every day that's going to move you from A to B? And that may be things with like, sticking to your calorie target, having 1 or 2 servings of fruit or veg with each meal, eating protein with each meal, 10,000 steps a day, whatever it may be, to, like say, to move you towards where you want to go. And then like say, it's just, and we said earlier in the call, people think they're going to make like earth-shattering change in order to actually get somewhere, but it's really about this just small, simple actions over a long period of time. That's what's going to get you to your goal, basically. So it's just the process goals and having that system in place. That's where you really move from just thinking about something to actually doing something. So it's just putting it all together.
I think that's the benefit, like Greg said, and James said, you just touched on it again, of having someone like to hold you accountable. You had a coaching call with Greg. You just demonstrated how knowledgeable you are around the whole topic of goal setting, but you still had a call with Greg because you knew that Greg would call you out on your bullshit, and he'd delve a little bit deeper into why it's important for you. And I think we're all guilty of maybe looking for the fastest route. If you were to climb, when I climbed Kilimanjaro, we didn't just start climbing the mountain. We went around the mountain, and we took our time climbing it, but we all got to the top. The success rate of climbing it was 100%. We all managed to do it. Whereas there's another route, you can just climb straight up the top and there's a 50% success rate. And I think that's the benefit of working with someone that's, done that before. They've been there, they've done it, they got the t-shirt, they do this every day. They know the most efficient process in terms of helping you succeed. And for a lot of women, when it comes to fat loss, it isn't restriction they need, it's actually organization. It's set boundaries, it's rules, it's making sure, like you said, they have fruits and vegetables with 2 meals a day. They can have some fruit and not feel guilty because of the insulin spike. Fruit isn't going to make you fat. That's not the reason why you're overweight. I've never had a client, binging on Brussels sprouts, watching Netflix. That isn't the problem. You don't need to track your spinach. Don't worry about the carbs in spinach. It's the bottle of wine on a Saturday we need to worry about. So I think, like you said, you had that call with Greg, and he gave you the most efficient and effective route and path for you to get to your destination. I think everyone, in terms of their goals, we all have a unique destination to get to, and the roadmap should be individualized for you. I know Greg enjoys a few beers nowadays. So saying to Greg not to drink beer again is probably not gonna work. James is a young lad. He enjoys a few beers. So we need to factor that into the long term, the process. I know you like a Copperberg as well, Zoe. In fact, we all like a drink. Cool. Yeah. Right. So saying someone to go teetotal for 8 months, 9 months, 12 months, it probably isn't going to work. So factoring in those 1 or 2 things a week, maybe. And I know we couldn't get Gav on the call tonight, which is a shame. I think he was busy, but we'll get him on a future call. He always says about, date night with the kids, or cinema night with his partner, and factoring these things into your week to make the process actually enjoyable. You haven't got to eat cod and broccoli 6 meals a day to lose weight. Yes, that could work for you, but it's not sustainable. And I think that's the benefit of obviously working with a coach. They'll say, look, you don't need to do that. You don't need that restrictiveness. You need a bit more organization. If you do this in the morning, you can actually do this in the night and have a good time. Yes, we need to pull calories back here, but you can have more calories there then and actually enjoy the journey a bit more. And I think that's where a good coach comes in. I know you three do it all the time with your clients at the gym. You show them the most effective and enjoyable route. And I don't know about you, but for me, I'd much rather get in really good shape in 16 weeks and actually enjoy the journey, be able to have a beer and the odd takeaway, rather than get it in 12 weeks and actually hate the process and then have a massive binge at the end of it. And I actually regress and go back to that pre-contemplation stage that Greg was actually talking about earlier. So I think that's important. So guys, has anyone got any questions before I just show you a little roadmap for success? This is something we're going to touch on in a future live training. So if anyone's got any questions, you can put them in now. I've got one for you to think about, Greg. Is Nikki, I've been telling her to keep things simple for 6 months. All right. That's what you keep telling me, Sam. So Nikki knows what to do. She's got all the information. She's just not doing it. And she's one of these people. She knows herself. If she's told to do something, she won't do it. So having a coach for her is crazy because she doesn't do as she's told. It has to be on her terms. But then she keeps saying, mañana, tomorrow. Yeah, I'll book in next week. And she never books in. So I think we need to take her to a psychologist, to be honest.
I was hoping you were going to ask me what to do with her. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Have any of you got any ideas for someone that they know what to do? They've got that expert coach in their ear, giving them all the information they need. The advice is spot on. It's worked for 100 people before them. It'll work for 100 people after them. It'll work for them, but they're just not doing the work. You know, is it coming back to the why? What do you think?
Essentially, usually, like one of the reasons I encourage people to go through this goal setting process rather than me telling them what to do is because then they get a sense of ownership over it.
Yeah.
So they're the boss. They're dictated what the outcome's going to be, how they're going to get there, and ultimately they've got to achieve it. So they create the plan, and you just go, okay, that's your plan. Off you go, and I'll be here when you need a bit of help and support.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I encourage people to do this.
That's the client-led approach. So like you'll find her she's like that rebellious kind where she can't be told what to do.
Oh, that's Nikki. That's Nikki.
So everything has to be on her terms. Basically. So like Zoe put it perfectly. She has to come up with her plan.
Yeah.
And then it looks like you don't do anything, but like as a coach, but realistically, you let her create a plan, and then you just move stuff out of her way.
Yeah.
That's basically the aim.
Yeah, that's what we've done well in the past. It's been when, Nikki's come to me and been like, right, I want to do this now. Right, perfect. I've been waiting for this moment for 18 months. Okay, let's do it. And she lose 4 stone in 4 months and she'd be really on it. But normally for her to do that, I know she doesn't mind me talking to this because, she'd be quite open about her struggles with it. Normally is when some big stresses have been removed. Maybe she's, got a new job and it's not as stressful, or she's finished a big project in work and she's got 3 months of downtime, or she's taken 6 weeks of annual leave because it's built up over the year, So for some people, I think their stress level is just so high. And we spoke about it, Zoe, with one of the clients at SOS has been really stressed this year and gained a little bit of weight. Sometimes you just need to, just relax, take a deep breath, wait for stress levels to drop until you actually have a big push in another area of your life. We haven't got endless energy to keep pursuing and smashing goals in all of our areas. And even us on these calls, I know Greg's amazing at learning and growth, and he dedicates time every day to that. But then he might struggle in other areas, and it's the same as me. I'm good at certain things, but I struggle in what Greg's good at. And none of us are perfect, are we? And is realizing that as well. So this is quite funny, actually. Somebody's taking Nikki's phone. My auntie Nick has a big bum. Nikki and my nephew just sent that message. Oh, Nikki. Okay. Leanne said maybe if anyone's struggling, they need a buddy. And that could be something that works as well. I know having an accountability partner works. I know since we've started the lifestyle coaching groups, a lot of the members actually get a lot of, they enjoy the community element of seeing other people doing well, celebrating each other's successes, being a cheerleader for each other, and that. Gina said as well, Gina's just started with us on the virtuals. She's my best mate, Goffy's new wife. They got married a couple of years ago. Maybe it needs to be your own idea, which is what you said, Greg. which is perfect. Amanda said as well, start with why. Amanda's a coach herself, not in the area of health and fitness, but more in CVs, education, pursuing a career. So Amanda agrees that having a why is really good, you know. So yeah. So guys, what we're going to do for all the members of SOS, I hope you found tonight valuable. We're going to do a vivid vision training on Wednesday in the members group. So that's a private session just for the members. And what I'll do on Friday, guys, is I'm going to do another training. I'll speak to the guys and see if one or two of the coaches can come on. And this is something that works tremendously well for me. When you have your vision, sorry, Greg, I've cut out your face, mate, but sorry, guys. When you have your vision, when you've got to think now, you're out of that pre-contemplation phase, you're ready to take action, you've got your goals for 2021. This is called a roadmap analogy, which I think is great. So once you've got that vision, we're then going to look at your roadmap, okay? And it's setting goals, like Zoe said, short-term and long-term. Recognize your dreams. What are they? Why are they important for you? Observe exactly where you are now. And like Zoe said, articulate that North Star, that statement of purpose of how you're actually going to get there. Define your goals, break them down in terms of long-term and short-term, and into the process of how you can actually achieve them. If it's losing 7 kilos of fat, maybe a step target, three or four workouts a week, checking in with your coach on a Sunday. It amazes me that we've got these expertise in the gym, you amazing coaches on hand to help people, and yet still some members don't check in. I just can't get my head around it. You're paying for coaching. You've got people there that want to help you succeed. You know, they're doing everything they can to help you. They're simplifying things. They're giving you a strategy. They're giving you that roadmap, you know, and still people don't give us the data we need as coaches in order to help them. And that's all we want to do is help them. Okay, so defining your goals, action, you know, every positive action has a positive reaction. So, you know, setting those simple processes and action them on a daily basis, adjusting your plans, because sometimes life does get in the way. Years like 2020 happen, you know, shit does go wrong, but it doesn't mean that we can't, you know, maneuver, change the plan slightly, pivot. We've had to do it this year as a business and a team of coaches, and we can still survive. And then finally, I think so many people, they don't celebrate their successes. And that's a big thing that I think why a lot of people don't set goals, because they don't see the process of goal setting as enjoyable. You know, like Zoe said, if you're losing 30 kilos and you set a benchmark for 10 kilos and you achieve it, you have to celebrate that success. You know, go out for a nice meal, have a day off your diet, you know, take your spouse out for a meal, have a few beers, have a bottle of wine, celebrate it, and then get back on track. If you don't enjoy the process of achieving the goals, what's the point? Yeah, so that's a big thing, I think, as well. And that's why the community of SOS is great, because we all celebrate each other's wins together. And we did the photo shoot, Greg, didn't we? James did one last year. Greg's just done one with Harrison, and Reese, I think, is on the call. He looked great. We had Matt Owen, Di did it, Amy did it. A lot of the members did a photo shoot just before Christmas. And why we do that is just to celebrate their success. And it makes the journey enjoyable. Then not just for the people that have achieved it, but for the coaches as well. You know, we want to celebrate your wins too. So there we go. So have we had any questions? Yeah, we have. Amanda's listening, Greg, which is great. Greg's client, Amanda. Okay, so Leanne said, how do you know that your goal is actually achievable? So say I wanted to build muscle. Would you help break that down? Calories and a minimum training session to help me achieve this, and work on how long it would take. So Leanne's actually one of my online clients in Project Health. She's quite new to the group. So yeah, we can map that out for you. What would you say, James, to someone that approached you and asks, you know, is it possible to build muscle? And what would that process look like?
Absolutely, it's possible. I mean, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. The bigger the goal, the better. If you don't set a big goal, what's the point, you know? But yeah, no, you definitely sit them down. You talk them through kind of what they can do, what's capable in their day-to-day life. Are they able to do the sessions? Are they able to eat the way they need to eat to get the calories in, for instance? You know, are they capable of eating that many calories anyway?
Yeah.
And there's other things that you could do to kind of help them. But you'd have to monitor along the way. You'd have to, you know, keep a close eye on it, because if you're miles off target, then things are going to need to change. You're going to need to be adaptable and pivot, like you said, you know?
Yeah. 100%. What would you say on that, Greg, in terms of like a woman building muscle? is obviously a little bit harder than us guys in terms of the hormones. You're the expert on this, but definitely possible.
Oh yeah, it's definitely possible. Like as percentages go, women can put on just as much muscle as men. It's just obviously we start at a bigger body weight, right? So we can put on more muscle in total, but like incomparably, women are just as capable as men. The issue is always going to be with muscle gain. On the other hand, though, is that like we can lose body fat really quickly. Like if someone says to me, "I've got 6 weeks to my wedding," you can say, "Right, let's do this. We'll go super aggressive, no excuses. You've got 6 weeks till a big day." With muscle gain, it just takes the issue with this time.
Yeah.
So like, it's not going to be put on as much weight as possible. It's going to be small, measured steps for a long period, for a longer period of time than you might expect. That's all.
Yeah, perfect. So Bevy's had a great year this year. Maybe we can do a live with Bevy one day. I think that'd be great.
Sure, Bev.
Amazing success Bev, your photos in 2020, even through COVID, you and Lisa were rocking the. And if I don't put those YouTube videos on the app, bloody hell, she's messaging me. Where's the videos? I need these. Yeah, we've been doing them for Bevy, which is great. And I know Gav's done a fantastic job. He just keeps saying to her, "Get those steps in, girl." Yeah, Gav's voice, "Get them steps in, girl." Yeah, that's all he said, and that's what she's focused on this year. And that's the benefit of coaching. Like Gav's just said to Bev, "Look, I'm going to track calories." I can remember him saying in the lifestyle group, "Eat more protein." 1 egg? What do you mean 1 egg? Have 3 eggs. 3 eggs? Yeah, but you got to eat in more protein. Focusing on the big rocks, the simple things, and she's rocked. I think she's dropped 3 stone this year, which is incredible, especially in lockdown. And Kat has just said, the goal for her is just sticking at maintenance, ready for March. I think Kat's got the powerlifting competition, Greg.
Yeah, so she's got the Brits.
Yeah.
Brit powerlifting competition. She'll break British records.
Yeah, I can remember Kat in her first semi-private session, and she's like, "Checking, I can do it." We were doing pull downs. I said, "Have a try of a chin up there," and literally, new in the gym, I give her like the smallest amount of help. She did a chin up. I was like, "Girl, you are strong. You've got like good genetics." And I think it was her second or third session. She was actually doing reps of chin ups, which is phenomenal. So yeah, she's taken to the strength training really well, and she's got the British powerlifting competition. I know she's been working closely with you, Greg, which is great. And she's working with another coach as well, and it's working really well for her. So well done, Kath. We believe in you. I think you can have a great year. You are. And we'll finish on this little positive note. I think what Bevy said. Oh, thanks, Bev. She said that SOS has changed her life, which is great. Thanks, Bev. Honestly, you and Lisa coming in the gym is the highlight of our day. You two are crackers. Right. Interested in what Greg said. I've lost lots of fat, but haven't managed to build much muscle, increase strength, which was my goal. Yeah. So Victoria, again, she's done really well this year. She was very injured when she started with us. She's injury-free now. Obviously, her goal is to build muscle, and it's been tough through lockdown with no access to the gym. It's been very stop-start. But what would you say, Greg, to someone that hits 15,000 steps a day, 18,000 steps some days? In terms of building muscle, and they're finding it hard, would you say that maybe lowering steps would be something that's worth doing, or would it just be a case of titrating calories up over?
I guess it really depends what she's willing to do. So, like, if she's on 15,000 steps and she's actively going out seeking them, I would get her to lower steps as well.
Yeah.
Not made like I don't want to do 5,000 steps a day. You don't want to live like a sedentary lifestyle. I know I spoke with Victoria before, and she mentioned that she was still losing body fat but not gaining muscle. And it's then the conversation of, well, you're not eating enough, Victoria. You're not eating enough for the amount of work you're doing, because you need to, like, muscle gets built on energy. So you need to have enough energy available to build that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? To build muscle tissue, it obviously helps to be in a calorie surplus. But it's not a calorific surplus based on your basal metabolic rate. It's actually an energy surplus based on, your basal metabolic rate, your NEAT, which is the amount of steps you're doing, and then obviously the amount of calories you're burning through the thermic effect of food and the thermic effect of actually working out as well. So for someone like Victoria that's very active, I know she trains some days 4, 5, 6 days a week, plus she might do yoga on top. She might run as well in terms of just getting her steps in because she's in a rush with work. It's just focusing on what is the actual goal. Like Zoe said, keep the goal the goal. Don't get too disoriented with fat loss and muscle building. Pick one and try and just focus on that. So here we go. And George has asked a question. Now the questions are flying in. Advice on how to change your mental state on weight loss, body image to ensure a happy, long-lasting relationship with fitness and your goals. So Zoe, this is a good one for you because I know you're reverse dieting at the moment, and that's something that you found challenging because you're eating more calories and you're not potentially losing the body fat you want to, but you understand that is a longer term process, right?
Yeah. So again, it's just going back to that. I've got an idea in my head on where I want to be and the reasons why I want to be there. So yeah, that gives the buy into the process then. So like every now and again, I have a wobble because I'm not where I want to be right now.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, I know what the plan is, I know what the goal is. So now, like today is day one where I've gone back into a calorie deficit, and this year I'll be focusing more on fat loss. In terms of the mental side of things, is difficult. It's a case of just having, that idea where you want to go. Do stuff that that's going to take you there. And then, when you do make mistakes, don't beat yourself up about it. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make is they have one thing goes wrong and they feel terrible. Like they're ridden with guilt, and then they end up going on a roller coaster of emotions and probably some negative behaviors as part of that. One of my favorite rules that I like to live by is to never miss twice, which is you can make a mistake. You can have a bad meal. You might have, pizza at lunchtime when you intended to go out and have a salad. That's fine. It is what it is in the past. The next meal or the next earliest opportunity, just get back on the plan as soon as possible. And then if you do that twice, so say you've had a pizza at lunch, then you went home and had, a burger for tea, that's not just a mistake. That's a chain of events starting to build up. Yeah. So it's just a bit of acceptance. Things can go wrong. Don't panic. Just get back on plan as soon as possible. And then you'll learn to have a much more healthy mindset around food and whatever else, training and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's that feeling of acceptance. Don't beat yourself up. Just get on plan as soon as possible, and you'll eventually get to where you want to go.
Yeah, and I think Lisa's made a great point in terms of mentally. You have to also enjoy the exercise that you do. If you hate cardio, there's no point in doing cardio 5 days a week. And this is what I always try and do with my clients, especially the bespoke online clients and personal one-to-one clients. If I got a client that loves boxing and they hate running, I'll do some boxing at the end of the workout with them. And I know Greg does this rather than putting them on the treadmill. So trying to make that workout as enjoyable as we can, make the process as efficient and enjoyable as we can for the client is going to make things a lot easier. And they're going to enjoy the process. If you enjoy the process, you're going to want to turn up and come again, which is great. Sully's gone, Sinead. He just came in for a little cut, and now he's gone. All right. Yeah. So, guys, great. So, I think that's a great call. We've gone through a lot. If anyone is new on this call and they're not working with us, just comment help below or help in the comment section. And either myself, Greg, James, or Zoe, we're more than happy to jump on a call with you to give you some clarity, help you set some goals for yourself for 2021. Just comment help below, and me or one of the team will happily have a call with you just for half an hour to see if we can help you. Trust me when I say we want to help you, because right now we're in lockdown, and I know all Greg is doing is waiting for 7 p.m. so he can crack open his first beer. So, yeah, maybe a few evening calls for Greg would be useful. But we want to help you. We all got in this industry. We want nice things to happen. James is going to try and get his house this year and things like that. Obviously we do it for the money, of course, but the main reason we got into this industry was to help people. So yeah, seriously, now just comment help below. One of us will jump on. If any members are struggling a little bit, we've got a vivid vision training in the members group on Wednesday. Use the next 48 hours to really think about your goals, get some clarity. I want every single member to have a vision board this year. Even if you think that it is the biggest load of garbage you've ever thought about, manifestation is bullshit. Look, I used to be one of those people. You don't know what you don't know. Thoughts can become things because they give you that focus. They plant that in your subconscious. So I want every single person by the end of the week that is a member of our gym to have a vision board. Okay, and that's what we're going to try and do on Wednesday. So if you're unsure of you're in the pre-contemplation phase, anything like that, that's fine. But have a little think about it now in the next 48 hours, and we'll get our vision board ready for Wednesday. And then on Friday or the weekend, I'll announce on Wednesday, we will come back on this group and we will talk to you about actually how you can create a roadmap to actually make that vision board become a reality by the end of the year. And one of my favorite quotes, which is what I'll finish on, is, I'd rather you aim for the stars and land in the sky than aim for the sky and land in the clouds. So like James said at the start, don't be afraid to stretch yourself. Your goal should fucking scare you. Okay, that's how big I want them to be. Okay, and it could be going from a size 18 to a size 12, something big. It could be running a marathon, in the next 18 months, whatever it is. Yeah, set a goal that's going to stretch you, because, I want to lose weight. I want to lose a stone. That's bullshit. Set something that's really going to challenge you and make you become a better human being. And it isn't about the goal. It's about the journey. And I always said to Greg, he's like, why do you own the gym? You could earn so much more money if you were just a PT and an online coach. I've seen how many clients you got. If they all paid you, you wouldn't have to, you could be anywhere in the world. And I said to him, and it's true, the goal isn't important. Is in order to make a success of a business, especially with all this that's going on, is the person it makes you become, is the discipline that it gives you, and it's the journey for me. It isn't about the financial reward. He's right. I could earn a lot more money just as a self-employed PT, training my clients and pocketing the cash and not having the gym and all you guys and the team. But, it's the journey. And I think that's what's most important with goals. Set goals to stretch you, and goals are going to make you become a more disciplined human. All right, guys? Anyone wants to add on that?
Brilliant.
Everyone happy?
No, that's all good.
Really appreciate you giving up your time tonight. 7 o'clock on Wednesday, we're going to do the vivid vision training, and we'll try and get the roadmap training penciled in maybe sometime on Friday, maybe a bit earlier, so Greg can have his 2 beers. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Guys, if you've got value from this, can I just ask you to share? Just give it a little share, because a lot of people this time of year, they're struggling. 2020 has been a shit year, and this Facebook Live just might make people think, you know what, I'm actually going to set some goals. And you never know, thoughts become things. We might be able to help a few people in the process. You can give us a little share. That would be amazing. And if you do need help and you're not a member, just comment help below, and we'll get on a call with you to see how we can help you succeed. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys.